Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the 105 leFH18B2, the French Tier 5 Premium SPG that you might know as the leFH or leaf blower. We know it as a BP La Pew Pew. This one's located on the south spawn of mines under the command of rocket2me. Now, rocket2me's in what university? And I actually was a member of that clan. It was the first clan I joined. Well, as part of Havoc, actually. They were the same clan, but they just had different branches. Now, he's taken his 105mm light field howitzer to this corner of the mines map, because you can get great shots on the enemy tanks as they make their way into the castle, into the keep. And, okay, that M5A1 made the wrong decision, go direction. He actually went down the cliff, but he's decided to go to that corner so he can shoot at the enemy tanks. Rounds out. Just missed him. One of the enemy did make it into the grounds. It's another M5A1 Stuart, and that guy's decided now it's just a little too hot next to the gates, and so yes, he's decided to go around and shoot them from the other side. Okay, now that guy is hiding behind the rock, so he's being very careful. So you can see rocket2me's decided to go after this KV1, and he overshoots him because he aimed directly at the vehicle but didn't take into account the fact that the vehicle was moving. This is better. Oh no, it overshot again. RNG said no on that occasion, and it went long, and finally he gets a direct hit, and it looks like it hit the bustle of the turret on the KV1. Again, he's shooting short, and that might be that he's not letting it dial in fully before he shoots. Rounds out. Better, much better. That one tracked him, and it hit near the engine bay. Now, the 105 leFH is capable of doing 410 alpha and penetrating 53mm of armor. And the thing is that the real 105 leFH18B2 was actually capable of penetrating 53mm of armor, 52 actually, according to the book. So Wargaming got that very close to being true. The only difference I think I would dispute is that they've actually suggested that the shell actually doesn't have much in the way of muzzle velocity speed. They say it's about 470 meters per second. And they've got 410 here, so they've got that wrong. It's slightly faster, 470, according to the encyclopedia. Oh, that was a good shot. Took out the M5A1. It only hit the corner of the vehicle with his shell, but it was enough to wipe him out because, of course, M5A1s do not have much armor. Therefore, that shell probably penetrated him. Fires one at the M5. Nope. Got the rock in the way there. Now, the Germans only made 16 of these Artys during the war. They were made in 1942, and originally, oh, that was a good one, caught the rear of the T6 medium. Originally, they were going to be helping the flamethrower tanks that the Germans made with the other Char B1s that they captured. And they were going to use them in Russia, but in the Soviet Union. But as it happens, the shells came out too late, and that one went up his rear, blew his engine apart. He's going to try and do the same to the T6 medium. Didn't give enough, didn't line it up on the guy's rear though. So they were going to be used to support the flamethrower tanks, and he got another kill. He's now up to 3. But unfortunately, the 105 leFH were not ready on time. That was a direct hit. They actually needed them ready for 1941 for the invasion of the Soviet Union, but they weren't ready, and so they did not go ahead and use them for support. They were a little more complicated to build than they originally thought they would be. Now, those enemy are coming up from that direction. In fact, we do not have any support tanks nearby. So it looks like these guys are either going to get shot from the castle, or they're going to get shot by rocket2me. Now, he does have a fast reload. Standard reload, 8.92 seconds. rocket2me's got 7.22. Now, he's still got 27 rounds of HE available. Here comes the first one, the Panzer F2. Punches him in the face. He didn't like that, and he wants to get revenge, so he's coming this way. But will reload in time. And he gets another hit just on top of the turret. And this could kill him the next round. He's going for it. Yes, he gets him. 3 shots to take him out. Now Arty knows where we are. And he pulled back just in time. The enemy Arty didn't spot that. Didn't think that he would actually move. And now we've got one of those new tanks. The Armpit, as some people are calling them. The ARBT. Yeah, some people call it the Armpit tank. It's a catching name. But anyway, he got taken out. And now we've got a duck. The AMX-40. The Perpetual Duck. Can you get a hit on this one? Rounds out. Oh, good shot into the engine bay. Didn't look like it was a penetration, but it was a good hit. That's a little late. And the enemy Arty won't leave us alone now. Enemy shells are landing nearby us. In fact, one of the Arty shells went up to the Panzer III Aslains J, we can see in the picture, and is gone down. So 5 kills so far for rocket2me. And there's 3 enemies left, so we outnumber them. Oh, I spoke too soon. We just lost the Panzer III Aslains J. He got taken out by the enemy Fifi. There are 2 Fifis on the enemy team. There's a KV-1, and there are an M41 HMC, and of course we've got rocket2me. Okay, the KV-1 is down below. Oh no! We just lost our Panzer IV Aslains, or F2, to the enemy Arty, who appears to be very hot. Now he's going to try and shoot through that gap at the KV-1. Needs to change his position just slightly. Oh, the enemy Arty's still trying to get him. And there are 2 of them, remember? Yep, they are definitely trying. Very trying. Now, he did knock over that object there. That might give the enemy Arty a clue as to where he is, but he's trying to get a shot on that KV-1. He's auto-aimed. He got a shot in, and the enemy Arty does damage him, but the KV-1 is now 1 shot. The M41 got damaged, and we've lost the M41. Now, the enemy Arty is still trying to get him, but they can't see him now. They don't know where he is. And you see their shells are landing short. They keep trying. The KV-1 saw him again, or at least is in sight. But the bad thing about the KV-1 is he's got to come around the corner now. We're permanently spotted because we're within 50 meters. So he does know where we are now. But the KV-1 is very low on hit points. 1 shot, he took 1 shot. But he takes him out with a proximity. Well, proximity, it did hit the front of the vehicle, but now he's got to keep motoring to avoid being taken out by the enemy Arty. And the shells, oh, that one hit the engine bay. Yes, you can see, in fact, the engine's on the other side of the vehicle, not on that side, so that's the empty part of the compartment where they store some of the shells. They actually also stored the shells in the front of the vehicle, directly where the 75mm gun was located. Because, of course, the 75mm gun was taken out, it was removed, and with all that space, all the area where they previously stored the 75mm rounds, and, of course, the rounds for the 47mm Top Gun, they used that space to store the 75mm, the 105mm shells that they used in this artillery. In fact, the thing is, it was a 2-part ammunition. So what they did is they actually had the 2-part ammunition. The shells were actually mostly, as I said, high explosive, but they did have some armor-piercing shells as well, and they did create heat rounds as well. Though those bits in the history of this vehicle is correct. They did have those with fairly good penetration. But the shells were 2-part ammunition, just like on the Gorilla and the Hummel, and they would store the powder in little powder bags, and they will put the container had the primer in the base of the container, tiny little small can basically, which they shoved in after they put the 105mm shell into the breech, and the can would contain bags, silk bags of powder, which would then contain the right amount of powder to propel the charge and fire the shell over the appropriate distance, so they could accurately work out how far the shell would go from the amount of powder they placed in the bag. Now, something else they may not have told you about this vehicle is about the muzzle brake. That actually is important because you see, having so much powder put into the gun actually did wear the barrel out quite quickly, as you're seeing already in a certain campaign of a certain special military operation going on somewhere. A lot of barrels for their Arty are actually wearing out. Well, the Germans were smart about this. They put the muzzle brake on the front of the gun, and that would actually take or help preserve the barrel of the Arty for far longer, because it actually dispersed the pressure that actually came out after the shell, and so the smoke would go out sideways and they can look and see forward. Not that they needed to see where the shell was going, but it actually alleviated damage on the actual vehicle. Okay, well, the enemy's behind us. They managed to sneak up on us, and the other one's not firing because, of course, he's moving at the moment anyway. Good solid hit for the first strike. He's doing it manually. You can see that. Go for the kill. Doesn't get it, but this guy's now in the way. Wait for the load. Gets the shot directly into the gun shield. Takes him out the game. Now he can take out the last one. He's got a top gun. Oh, gets the Radleys. He took out the last enemy Arty, shooting past his teammates. And he has won a Radley Walters medal. Here's the end of battle stats, and sorry I missed out saying rocket2me's name at the end of that game, but oh, that was a hectic end. That was an ace tanker game to rocket2me of What University in the 105 leFH18B2. He got a counter battery fire medal because he took out both enemy Arty in the game, both on Fifis as well, which was terribly dangerous because if they're played right, they are very, very difficult to overcome. He also got a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, as well as a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 17. He got a Radley Walters medal for killing 8 enemy tanks. He killed 8 exactly. Got a Starks medal for taking at least 2 enemy shots, losing at least 2/3 of his hit points, or potentially losing 2/3 of his hit points. Because remember, some of those Arty shots, he didn't get a full hit. He actually suffered a partial hit, and as a result, the full hit would have been a lot higher. But the fact of the matter is he did take those hits. He did lose the hit points. He did kill at least 2 enemy tanks. In fact, he killed a lot more than 2, and he survived the battle to win. He also got a Gauze medal for getting 8 times the hit points for his own vehicle in damage, a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, and on top of that, he got a Top Gun for getting at least 6 kills. In fact, the 6th one was in fact the enemy KB1, which he calmly came around the corner, took a shot from the enemy tank, and then dealt the death blow to him by firing into a quarter or his front quarter. And he probably thought if he could pull back enough in time, he could get another shot in, but no, he was denied that. And rocket2me got a win 8 of 16,075. A really good game on the PP. Let's have a look at the team scores. Highest damage was 3,038 hit points. The second highest damage in the game went to the T28E with the F30 gun, the 85mm gun on his team. That guy got a Leather Slaves medal because, of course, he's only tier 4, but he was taking out higher tier opponents. He got 2,557 hit points, so he obviously knew what to do with the vehicle. And his name was Christmas Grinch as well. Yes, I think we know somebody who's actually created a skin called the Christmas Grinch for his 212As. And when it came to the third place man, that was the KV1. He got 1,641 hit points out of that game. When it came to kills, it's, yes, rocket2me, 8 kills to him. 4 kills went to the T28E with the F30 and the KV1 on the enemy team. And in third place, we can say the M41 HMC got 2 kills, and so did one of the Fifis, who actually picked up a Confederate as well, and the Duck, the AMX40, he got 2 kills as well. When it came to base XP, yep, rocket2me got that one, so he's got the top in all 3 columns. 1,427 base. The next highest being the T28E with the F30, got 1,418. They were the only 2 players who managed to get over 1,000 base in the game, with the third place going to the Panzerfahr F2 with 994. That's the new premium tank. And yes, from what I've seen, I haven't come up against one. Of course, I don't have one Or at least, or do I have one? No, I don't think I have one actually. And yes, apparently they are quite good in the right circumstances. I've seen one be quite deadly in game, and they were going around annihilating other enemy tanks of the same tier. So yes, if you do have one of these, you're very lucky, because this could be quite a good and quite an OP tank. Anyway, let's have a look at detail. 34 shots fired, so he still had plenty of ammo at the end of that game. 19 direct hits on the enemy, 5 penetrating shots, and 15 splash. Well, let's see who he actually penetrated. Surely the M5. Yes, he did. Very thin armor, went straight through. Don't think he penetrated the KV1. How about that one? Yes, he did. He got all 340 hit points, and he did penetrate one of the PPs. He didn't penetrate the AMX40, but he does have fairly tough armor. The armpit, yes, he did penetrate the armor pit, 276. Did he penetrate? No, he didn't penetrate the other Stuart. He did penetrate the Panzerfahr F2. That was the one he had to fire, what was it, 3 shots to kill him, to get him down? Or was it 4? I can't remember exactly how many it was, but it certainly did have difficulty taking that guy down. 632 hit points on 1 penetrating shot out of it. He penetrated the T6 medium. I think that was up on top of the hill. And he did not penetrate the other FIFIs. So only one of the FIFIs was penetrated. And I think that was the shot of the one that got closest to him, because he aimed that shot at the gun shield and it went right through. And that would count as a penetrating shot. And of course, it did wipe the guy out completely. Because, of course, 410 alpha on a 340 hit point tank. Yeah, or 280 hit points. Was it 280 or 480? No, 340. So yes, he was bound to take that guy down. So he did definitely get a full pen off that one. But yes, very interesting on who he penned and who he didn't in that game. 3,038 hit points of damage, a very high score. 1,614 were at more than 300 meters. So you can see almost 1,400, almost 50% of the damage was done at close range. 2 hits received, 1 penetration, 3 hits by way of splash, but that accounted for the 340, more than 60% of the damage done against his vehicle. 2 enemy vehicles spotted, 9 enemy vehicles damaged, 8 destroyed, and he earned 124,060 credits from the game. Got a big reward for his completing the mission events. And on top of that, he got 17,983 experience points. Excuse me. And a lot of that came from completing the mission events. 12,846. So quite a game there by rocket2me of what university. It's been a while since we've seen Radley Walters done by a FIFI. Only a short while. But it's certainly very, very nice to see them. They were coming back again, as some of our players are now getting so good. They literally are wiping out the enemy almost single-handed. And you could say that rocket2me actually did carry the rest of his team, because after all, he got more kills than the rest of his team put together, because they only got 7 kills. He got the other 8. So well done to rocket2me. Great game. Sorry that you had to wait a day to get this replay up, because he actually sent it to me on the 10th. But I had a slight delay, because, of course, I was actually playing the game myself, trying to get some practice in. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like. Do subscribe to our channel. And thank you for watching.